Uh, I would get yelled at for it. My mom would make fun of me. She would put me down, just treat me like crap.
When I was 9 years old, I experienced a hate crime. I won't go into detail on that. It was exceedingly violent. And I kind of crawled into myself for a few years while I went through therapy. At the age of 14, I came out again. I was in ninth grade. It was not accepted. I was going to an all-boys school and it was very difficult. My family also didn't handle it very well. I was put in reparative therapy, conversion therapy, for 2 years. I've survived multiple hate crimes. I've survived rape. I've survived abuse.
I was that child who was bullied and beaten up in every school I attended in my younger days, elementary through high school. I had no friends. I was picked on constantly. Due to that, I started drugs, started drinking, became an alcoholic, and just sunk into depression. And it was a combination of me not understanding who I was and people not understanding who I was trying to be.
The negative feedback that you get from people whenever you do decide to tell them, that you are trans or that you're starting to transition into how you identify yourself, and just the lack of support from friends and family, and just really hiding it from them for the longest, and then just finally saying, you know what, this is who I am, and this is who I love being, and this is my skin.
Well, there's so much challenges even from back home. People recognizes it, with case, but there's still some bullying around, even in school, growing up, communities, even friends. I came from a family wherein the family ties, like each member of the family cares about you, and so it was so hard. But here in the States, the acceptance, it's more accepted. They need more education, but some of the people knows. There's some nurses that she don't want to call me with my girl's name because they said it was not legal yet. And then there was one that he approached me. He said, well, let me know whenever it's legal already, then I'll call you that name. So he's been continuing calling me with my my other name. So I said, okay, I don't mind, but it was a struggle for me. I don't really feel comfortable with him calling me in the hallway with that name, but I overcome that.
I was at a convocation in Las Vegas with my church, and it was 2013, maybe 2014, I'm not exactly sure. And I was getting onto the elevator, and I was very friendly, and I still am, but I got on the elevator and I said my hellos to everyone, and I looked around, and all of a sudden I was by myself. I was isolated on the elevator, and it was an elevator full of Caucasian women and their children and so forth. And so all of a sudden they began turning their purses on the opposite side, and they began moving all the way to the other side of the elevator. So needless to say, that was the longest ride down from, I think it was possibly the 8th floor to the lobby of the hotel. And so at that moment, I realized that I am now truly seen as a African American, as a black man. So it was a happy moment for me, because I still battled with my dysphoria and whether or not people could tell that I was of trans experience when I would go into the men's restrooms. So it was happy, but then at the same time it was sad, because I didn't want to be seen as, a statistic as some African American men are seen as, robbers, thieves, things of that nature. And